Why do great employees leave? Is it that the coffee's bad? Is it that the lunch breaks are too short? Or is it that the management could be pretty bad? Well, the studies show properly motivated and engaged employees are 87% less likely to leave. To put simply, people aren't leaving jobs, they're leaving bad managers. I'm going to be revealing the 7 bad management mistakes that makes great employees leave. And so if you're somebody right now who's an employer and you want to be able to keep great talent within your company, make sure to pay close attention. Or maybe right now you're also an employee who want to be able to inform your manager or make a very wise decision on whether or not you want to stay or leave. Well, make sure to pay close attention to this video as well, because it will also suit you, because it will educate you in regards to what you should be paying attention to. Without further ado, let's go on to the first point, which is they don't recognize great work. You see, everybody loves a great pat on the back. There's no denying that. Problem is some bad managers, all they tend to do is just give pay rises thinking that's good enough. But that simple sense of well done, raising significance of other people, that's what they actually want. I mean, think about it. Why do people spend so much more on a Rolex watch versus buying a Casio that's like 100x cheaper? It's because of significance. It's amazing how much people would pay today just to get significance, right? People are buying brands that's like literally way out their pay range because they want to feel special. And so if you're able to make your team members feel special by just saying well done, by giving them a round of applause when everybody else is watching, that sense of significance boost may be the very thing that they're craving, especially when they've done a great job. So that is the first reason. They don't recognize great work and they're not giving enough pat on the backs to those right people. Now let's go on to the second reason, which is they care about their finances over their employees. You know, there are so many companies today, I find, they're just looking at the bottom line. And they're making their decisions just purely on the bottom line. Why? I suppose one could argue, yes, they're a business, but if you look at, for example, what actually drives business success, look at any billion-dollar company and you'll notice they've got great employees, happy employees at that. And that's why it's important you understand, how do you create that culture where people within the companies, just like how Zappos has such a flexibility schedule in regards to how they allow their employees to take holidays whenever they want. They've got so much trust within their culture to be able to enforce rules like that. And they know people aren't going to exploit it because of the fact that they've created such a great management system in regards to how the employees are being treated. And as a result, they've cared about the people versus the bottom line, and in turn what that's doing is it's driving the bottom line up. Most businesses, they're looking at the bottom line, making decisions based upon that, trying to cut costs everywhere. But if you actually invest in your team members in regards to education, in regards to making them feel better in the work environment, you'll notice how your bottom line begins to rise as well. So it's about understanding what's really driving the bottom line here. Versus, for example, is that me just focusing on my muscles and hoping it'll grow versus me hitting the gym and actually putting in the work for it to grow. Okay, sometimes I find people got it the wrong way around. So you got to really question that if that's resonating on any level. So that is the second reason. Most managers, they just look at the bottom line, the profit, and they don't really care about the people. The third reason is they're not congruent. You see, some managers, they promise a lot in regards to, oh, we're going to be rolling this project out. Yes, we'll give you the flexibility. Maybe you've been promising a lot of people within your team that you'll be doing great stuff within a year. But remember, people will not forget the moment you make a promise. And remember that trust is built upon promises you follow upon. And trust can be broken from a one bad follow through on a promise. Meaning you're far better of not making plenty of promises. You're far better actually just telling how it is. Just sharing them, not so much the big vision, just selling it constantly, but actually sharing with them in regards to the things that you can actually follow upon. And so great managers, what they got in common is they're congruent with their mission. They're congruent with the things that they're telling their team members, and they follow through upon them. And that way the trust is formed within the culture that they're building. So that's the third reason. Now let's go on to the fourth reason, which is they don't let people within their team pursue their passion. And I'll tell you, there are so many companies out there that's so rigid in regards to structure, especially the corporate companies out there. They notice, they may have even, heard from their team members saying, hey, this is what I like to do, but yet they don't take that feedback on because of their hierarchy, because of the corporate culture. They just put that person in that job and they just say, just keep on working harder. Hey, we're paying you, right? Now, the problem with that is you're not going to be able to get that full sense of energy and the workload from that person if they just feel like they're grinding constantly versus doing the thing that they're gifted at. You see, a chore versus gift is totally different energy. When you're opening a gift, you're super excited and you're constantly willing to do whatever it takes to open more gifts. But when you're doing a chore, it's almost like I have to do this now. And that's how some of your team members might actually feel right now in regards to some of their jobs and processes. And that's how you end up creating a business where people are clocking in 9 to 5. And that's not what you want. You want to be able to create a business where, for example, like Tesla, people are driven by the mission. They see the big why and they're aligned with their truth, meaning they're willing to go above and beyond to serve the community and serve the world. That's what it's all about. So that is a fourth reason, and that leads perfectly onto the fifth reason, which is they don't allow for constant growth within the team. There are so many companies today that's scared of, for example, educating their team members more and more and more. Especially in this day and age where personal development is on the rise, most companies have found they're scared of sending people, their team members especially, to events where, for example, they will begin to get additional clarity or additional motivation. Why? Because they're stuck in fear. I mean, think about it. You go to a personal development event, or maybe you recommend a YouTube channel like this. Maybe the team members may find, actually, I'm not aligned with my truth, and they may quit. Most managers, that's what they're fearing. So what do? They hold back information. Well, last time I checked, that's like freaking North Korea, right? You're creating a very much a restricted culture. And when people feel like you're restricting some of the information back from them, guess what? They're going to turn against you. They don't feel like they're one family. They feel like they're just working for you, and there's a totally different energy that they're going to give back to you. So it's not about worrying whether or not they'll quit. It's more about worrying, what if you don't train them and they stay? You end up getting average workforce. So you've got to trust the process that, for example, if you invest in them, that they'll hopefully invest back in you. After all, you're far better off finding out whether or not they're going to stay after that versus just holding on to those average people that you've not actually trained up. Right? So it's all about embracing the constant growth so they can go from somebody, for example, who's okay in their job to somebody who's absolutely amazing, and being able to trust that because you invest in them, then hopefully that they'll stay. But you don't do it because that's the agenda that you want. You do it because it's the right thing to do. After all, everybody's got it's a human need to grow. Right? And if you don't encourage growth within your company, people feel like they're stagnant. The moment people feel like they're stagnant in life is the moment they begin to question other alternative options. So you want to constantly make people feel like they're challenged in a good way, so they're constantly growing. Because the moment you stop growing, you start dying. So that is the fifth point. Now let's go on to the sixth point, which is they hire and fire the wrong people. And I'm sure the employees who's watching this video, you can definitely resonate with this. When you see, for example, people being hired in the company, and you, for example, you think, oh my God, how did they even make it to their job? Or how comes they got a pay rise? How does that normally make you feel if you're an employee? Right? You feel terrible. You think like, how comes I'm not getting that, right? If you've been putting the work. Now, as an employer, sometimes we've got so much of an emotional attachment to some team members that you may be actually hiring the wrong people, giving pay rises to wrong people. And what that ends up doing is what? People around you, team members, will see that, and they will eventually find out somebody's got a pay rise. And if they don't feel like it's actually well deserved, you'll find some of the team members, they feel resentment. They feel like that it shouldn't have actually happened. And when the wrong people are let go, they also begin to question that. And so you've got to make sure whenever you're hiring, as well as giving pay rises, that it's going to the right people and for a right cause versus just an emotional decision because you like that person. So it's about letting go of that emotion and just really just giving it to the right people, and then justifying it and just explaining the why to the entire team so they jump on board and they see why it's happening as well. So what I'm trying to say here is about transparency. It's not about, for example, favoring a couple people because you like them. It's about just really just seeing who are the superstars and explaining to other people within the team why they're a superstar and really getting them on board with that as well. Now let's go on to the final point, which is they fail to engage creativity. Now, if you look at, for example, companies like Google, they did this perfectly back in the days. You look at inventions like Gmail, that came out of days where they literally allowed their team members to work on any project they like, giving them a total freedom to come up with new projects, new ideas. And these, for example, genius of idea, and I'm sure some of you watching, you use Gmail, came from allowing for freedom. You see, if right now you're not encouraging creativity within the company, you're essentially just creating a very much a corporate culture where people feel like they're just filling up, almost like in a factory. Imagine just pressing a button, filling up the baked bean tins, and boom, the lid is on. It feels like they're like a small cog in a big machine, which is never a great feeling for the team members. They want to feel special, they want to feel unique. So you got to make sure that you engage creativity. So those are the 7 reasons why great employees quit. I hope you found this video helpful, Insider. If you have, be sure to share this video with your friends and loved ones. And as always, my friend, follow your heart and take action, and let's go create the life you're truly born to live. I'll see you on the next video soon. Take care.